Tonight you will lie down, your eyes will close, your limbs will go heavy, your breathing will slow, and your brain will keep talking. It will replay a conversation you had 3 days ago. It will remind you of something you forgot to do. It will generate a worry you did not know you had, and then examine it from 11 different angles until you have no idea what time it is. Your body is already asleep. Your brain is still fully awake. And if you have ever wondered why those two things happen at completely different times, the answer goes back much further than your bedroom. It goes back to a time when closing your eyes was one of the most dangerous things a living creature could do. Here is the real answer. And it is far stranger than you think. Your body and your brain do not have the same relationship with danger. They never have. Going back 200,000 years, your body was the first thing that needed to shut down. Muscles burn energy. Movement creates noise. A body that keeps tensing and twitching in the dark is a body that attracts predators and burns through caloric reserves it cannot afford to waste. So your body evolved to power down fast. The moment your ancient ancestors found a safe enough place to rest, the body began its shutdown sequence almost immediately. Muscles relaxed, heart rate dropped, core temperature fell. The physical machine went offline. But the brain could not follow, not yet, because the brain had a different job at night, a critical one. It had to keep monitoring sound, smell, vibration, the distant snap of a branch, the change in wind direction, the silence that sometimes meant something was approaching too carefully to make noise. In the environment your ancestors actually lived in, a brain that went fully offline the moment the body relaxed was a brain that got its owner eaten. So your brain evolved a two-stage shutdown. The body first, then, slowly and reluctantly, the brain. And you are still running that same sequence every single night. Neuroscientist Matthew Walker, who spent years studying sleep at the University of California, Berkeley, describes this as one of the most revealing windows into the ancient architecture of the human mind. The brain, he found, does not treat sleep as a simple off switch. It treats sleep as a carefully managed descent, a staged withdrawal from consciousness that the body begins and the brain only finishes once it has convinced itself that the environment is safe enough. Think about what that means for you right now, in your bedroom, with your locked door and your climate-controlled room and your phone on the nightstand. Your brain does not know about any of that. Your brain is running ancient threat detection software that was written when the biggest risk you faced was a predator in the dark. And that software will not hand over full control until it has checked the environment enough times to feel satisfied. That is why you can be physically exhausted and mentally wide awake at the same time. Your body has already completed its half of the ancient shutdown protocol. Your brain is still running its checklist. Here is how the process actually works. About 2 hours before you feel sleepy, your brain begins releasing a chemical called melatonin, not to make you sleep. That is a common misunderstanding. Melatonin does not cause sleep. It signals darkness. It tells your brain that night has arrived and that the shutdown sequence should begin. Researcher Till Roenneberg at Ludwig Maximilian University in Munich spent decades studying what he calls chronotypes, the individual timing of this signal, and found that the melatonin release varies enormously between people. Some brains begin the signal at 9 in the evening. Others do not start until 1 in the morning. This is not laziness. It is not a bad habit. It is a genetic variation in the ancient timing system that every human brain carries. When melatonin begins to rise, your body starts its descent first. Skin temperature increases as heat moves from your core to your extremities. This is the body releasing thermal energy, physically lowering its core temperature to prepare for the deep biological maintenance work that happens during sleep. Your heart rate drops, your muscles lose tone, your digestive system slows. The physical organism begins its shutdown with remarkable efficiency. Your brain watches all of this happening, and it keeps watching. The structure that bridges body and brain during this transition is a region called the thalamus. Think of the thalamus as a relay station. During the day, it is wide open, passing sensory information from the outside world directly into your conscious awareness. Sound, light, touch, pain, all of it passes through the thalamus and into your experience of being awake. But as sleep begins, the thalamus starts to close. It begins filtering the signals, quieting the noise, building what sleep researchers call a sensory gate between the outside world and your sleeping brain. But it does not close all the way, not immediately, and not completely. Researcher Eugene Osorinsky, who co-discovered rapid eye movement sleep in the 1950s alongside Nathaniel Kleitman, found something strange in the data of sleeping brains. Even in the early stages of sleep, the brain is still processing sound, still detecting patterns, still looking for the signal that might mean danger, a door creaking, a footstep, your name. The brain will respond to these sounds even when the body is fully unresponsive, because the brain never fully trusted the body's assessment that the situation was safe. This is why you startle awake sometimes, for no reason, just as you are drifting off. That is called a hypnic jerk. Your muscles contract suddenly, your eyes open, your heart rate spikes for 1 second. Scientists have several theories about why this happens, but the most compelling is evolutionary. As your body relaxed and your muscle tone dropped, your ancient brain interpreted that loss of physical tension as a sign that you might be falling from a tree, falling from a cliff. And the brain, not yet ready to surrender control, fired a correction signal. Wake up. Check. Make sure you are safe. Your body obeyed. You jolted awake. And then, deciding the threat was not real, your brain let the process resume. That is what is happening inside you every night. An ancient negotiation between a body that is ready to rest and a brain that is not quite willing to let go. A handover of consciousness that happens in slow, careful stages, because for hundreds of thousands of years, handing over consciousness too quickly meant you did not wake up at all. There is another layer to this that most people never consider. Once the brain does finally let go, it does not stay unconscious. It cycles. Every 90 minutes, your brain moves through a sequence of sleep stages, from light sleep to deep slow-wave sleep to REM sleep, and each stage has a different evolutionary purpose. Slow-wave deep sleep is when your body repairs itself. Immune function, tissue growth, metabolic waste clearance from the brain itself, through a system researcher Maiken Nedergaard at the University of Rochester identified as the glymphatic system, a kind of biological drain that only opens fully during deep sleep and flushes out the toxic byproducts that accumulate in a working brain across the day. REM sleep, the stage where dreaming happens most intensely, is when your brain processes emotional memory. It takes the experiences of the day, strips the emotional charge from them, and files them. It rehearses, it connects patterns, it runs simulations. Researchers believe REM sleep is partly why ancient humans could learn from experiences they never had directly, by dreaming their way through scenarios their bodies had never encountered. And through all of this, your brain remains partially vigilant, partially listening. The thalamic gate is narrowed but never fully shut. A specific sound, your child crying, a smoke alarm, your own name spoken in a certain tone, will punch through every sleep stage and bring you instantly to full wakefulness, because the brain built its sleep architecture around a world that required you to be ready to run at any moment, even from the deepest rest. You live in a different world now. The predators are gone. The fires are controlled. The darkness is manageable. But your brain does not know that. It runs the same software it ran 200,000 years ago, in a cave, on a savanna, in a forest where something was always listening back. So the next time you lie down and feel your body go heavy while your mind keeps spinning, know this: you are not broken. You are not anxious. You are not doing something wrong. You are a brain running an ancient protocol, a protocol that kept your bloodline alive through every dark night your ancestors ever faced. A protocol that says, let the body rest, but keep watch just a little longer. Tonight, when you lie down and your body goes heavy while your mind keeps talking, that is not insomnia. That is 200,000 years of survival still doing its job.